Hi there, Steph. Thanks for popping by. So today's card was made with a Hero Art ice cream color layering stamp set, and I quite like this stamp set because they're not, let's say they're not as arty. They are arty, but not as much hard work as coloring with Copics or coloring with Prisma or stuff like that. But you can still get nice. I don't know. I like the color. I like the depth. I always use the C word, and I'm in contrast. But I don't know, over the last few years I found that if I don't have a contrast on my card, I'm not really happy with it. So I really like this layering stamp set. I like Hero Art, Altenew. That's what I have at the moment, but I'm sure there's other brands doing them and I think they're all really cool. So this one is quite straightforward. I stamped the cone to start with a light yellow and a brown. Then I wasn't too happy, so I used some sort of light brown and I think it works better. And then I do all the scoops, but I get a lot of blotchiness with my Altenew Crisp ink. And I think it's in part because they're not that recent and I don't have the reinkers. And I also think it's because of I use Nina Solar White. I use the I think it's Crafter's Companion, Nina Solar White. So it might not be the one that you get in the US, but it's still a Nina Solar White and it works really well with Copic. But I've stamped with some Altenew Crisp ink on the paper that comes in a packaging of Altenew stamps, and I got a completely different result. No blotchiness, a much better impression, I suppose. Stamped image. Sorry, impression is probably a French word. So I need to work on this Altenew Crisp ink because I'm not getting the best out of them, and I would like to get that sorted. So that's on my list of things to do anyway. But if you get that blotchiness, I think it might be the cardstock, so you may want to look into that. And then I use my sponge dauber that I bought ages ago and I've never really used much, but I like them with that because it's kind of like a tapping motion rather than a blending motion, and this stencil is quite fragile and quite thin, and it did tear in one place or two, so you know I like it to be, I wanted it to be a bit more gentle, so the sponge dauber are really cool for that. And here, I really like, I don't know if you can see it, but I have a very tiny white margin around the ice cream because of the mask not being perfectly in the right place. And I actually really like that, and I will bring it back afterwards with a white gel pen because I think you really added to the contrast. So first I'm doing a bit of shading with Copic markers, and I use warm greys, and then I normally have the light coming from one side, so here the light would come from the left and the shading on the right, and then I was kind of like, that looks a bit odd, I don't know why, but looking at it, it felt odd, and I will add the shading on both sides in the end and it will look a bit more like it's propped up. I used my Copic Atelier Spica to add a little bit of glitter on the cherry and then on the little sprinkles, then a bit of white gel pen to add more sprinkles. I could have used what is it called? Hero Art Unicorn pigment ink, but I had a white gel pen there, so it was just easier. And here I really like that kind of little white border. I think it added even more contrast, a bit like you get if you do a die cut. So I brought it back around the scoop and along the cone, and after I think I even added it in between the scoops of ice cream, and I think it worked pretty well. And then you can't see it when you look at it from above like right now, but you get really nice glitter and shimmer with the Copic Atelier Spica, and I really love that. I still want to buy the set B. I have the set A, but for me, I don't know if the set B would be as good because it's a bit more pastel. I think the set A was a lot more intense color, which works really well for what I'm doing. I've added the shading twice because I was not quite sure, and then in the end I just went all over, and I think it works better. It might not look quite natural, but I think it works better anyway, so that was quite good. And then I added a little bit of shading under the scoop to kind of give that dimension, you know, like, how would you say, stacked on the top of each other kind of dimension. And it's kind of little touches which I like, which I would, you know, at first I don't think about it, I'm like, oh, I need to add this, and then I couldn't add that, and things like that. And then it was a card for one of my son's teacher, and it wasn't a birthday card, so I used a little post-it note to kind of stamp sweet wishes rather than sweet birthday wishes, and because it's the end of the school year and it's summer, it was perfectly fitting. And after, with a little glaze pen, a black glaze pen, which is weird, is that the cap is grey, so I'm not sure why, but anyway, I retraced the wood. So I hope you liked this card. It's a bit simple, but I thought it was very summery and very colorful and glittery, and I really like that. So thank you very much for watching. Please don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel, click on the little bell, and go to my blog if you want to have a look at the photo. Thanks again and have a great day. Bye!